world, it's Megan, the host of the Pandemic Survival Guide, a podcast where you don't have to wear your mask because hopefully you're at home. But if not, then pop in those earbuds and allow my voice and a few of my guests to help you get through the day. This guide is a combination of financial advice which I will give to you with my accounting knowledge, as well as the experiences of all the people around me who have struggled, lived, been pregnant, taught, all types of things through this pandemic. Hopefully this guide will come in handy for the rest of your pandemic. Alright, y'all, welcome to this podcast. It is about surviving the pandemic. This is your pandemic survival guide. My name is Megan. When I'm not recording a podcast, I am an accountant. I go to the gym. That's about it. I'm very, very basic, very boring, typical accounting shit. You know, that's how it goes. And this over here is Marybeth, and in our middle we have Fairen. This is our guest for the day, Fairen. No, we don't know. Welcome to our very first podcast. So today,
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We're gonna go over NTI, the teacher side. As you know, we've been in this pandemic for like almost a year. School has changed basically almost indefinitely. Just think about it.
Yeah.
And teachers are no longer in the classroom. They are at home teaching your child through a computer. So we just wanted to get a teacher's perspective because I watch a kid do this and it's very fun to watch. It's interesting to watch. He definitely needs more work in my opinion, but that's my opinion. Teachers, obviously, that's why we have our teacher here, think other things, think differently, and we would like to, you know, see what else is going on because I'm not a teacher, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. My first question is, how do you feel about teachers being required to take the vaccine so that they can go back in class?
I will say, I know like there are some teachers out there who you all are back in school because your state did mandate you to come back. So yeah. I am sorry that you all have to teach in the classroom as well as online. So you're basically being double the teacher with still the same pay. So I did want to shout you all out for doing that.
Thank you.
But my initial response and reaction to teachers having to take the vaccine is that it doesn't really help our students if they're not taking the vaccine.
I totally agree on that one.
Yes, yeah. I will be okay by the time we go back, by the time they come in, because the vaccine will have gone through my body and done what it's supposed to do, and I'll be more immune to the virus. But if they're all with each other and they don't have the vaccine, then they're just putting each other at risk.
Right. When I switched my mask with Megan because Megan has my favorite Disney princess, and
I lost out on a bet, you know.
Right, we rock paper scissors, and now she's got to wear my plain mask. Like,
so now we both have COVID.
Because that's gonna happen. That is absolutely gonna happen. Kids, we traded pencils.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like this pen. I like your pen better.
Right. Like,
yeah, this one glides better. This one breathes better. Let me
I think yours is prettier than mine.
Well, for those of you who have children of your own or children that you take care of and you take them to the store or you take them anywhere and that a mask is required of them, I mean, that's hard. You're in the store for maybe 15, 20, sometimes an hour, whatever, depending on what you're doing. Everybody got, you know, y'all got whatever you're doing. But like, I know you're fighting with your kid to keep their mask on, leaving from the car to closing the car door.
It makes me so anxious when I see parents. I'm like, oh, bless your heart. Or when they just don't have one at all. I'm like,
I mean, your kids don't wash their hands,
you know.
So
and touch everything.
The majority of my job is saying, "Did you wash your hands?" That was before the pandemic.
Yeah, now
so
you're really gonna have to say it with hand sanitizer.
When you blow your nose, did you put your tissue in your desk? Did you just put your tissue on your friend's desk?
So basically, kids are really, really, really gross.
Right.
And they're gonna spread these germs.
Yeah. Set a hand washing timer every 30 minutes.
Well, I think maybe the whole vaccine, teachers having a vaccine is so that schools aren't liable for the teacher's death. And that's kind of really messed up.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're not even, they're not thinking about the children passing that around. But then they're like, oh, look, we told you to get this vaccine. So even if you die from it, It's not on us.
We did our part.
Yeah, and
Legally.
Which it just, like, how dehumanizing
Yeah.
is that? Like, it's cringy.
You're here to teach my child, and like that's it. Like I don't want
Yeah.
anything else from you. If you die, you die. We'll go get another one.
Oh yeah, definitely. You are replaceable.
Yes.
Replaced
That's kind of
within the hour. I don't know. Well, because for a lot of schools, they had a issue with like being able to find subs too. So like for the teachers, a lot of teachers have decided to leave the profession
Oh,
for a
I know
multitude
that.
of reasons. Yeah, but the pandemic and when you're I don't want to generalize, but like a lot of older teachers have left because learning their profession through technology
Man,
is not
yeah.
something that they've been doing for the past 30, 40, some 50 years.
So now they have to learn something new, and it's like.
Yep.
And I mean,
the young
I'm bad with technology, so I
Yeah.
can't imagine like
And
it's
I'm
not
little.
Yeah.
Right.
Like basically, they're gonna be calling us like, "Hey, how do I open
And
this?"
I'm like, girl, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I don't know.
You're fine.
If
You're
I
fine.
can't see it, I definitely I don't even know what you're working with. Like,
Speak to me through the phone.
I said, please share your screen with me so I know what you're saying.
because I have no
I'm so
idea.
quick not to share my screen because I don't know what's up on it. Like, we got
That's
two
another
emails.
thing.
Yeah.
Got my other job while I'm doing it. No, I never responded to your email because no, I didn't read it yet.
I
Like,
don't have time for this email yet.
That's probably the biggest thing for me though, is that like it makes sense that you all want us to get vaccinated, but if you're not also having the children be vaccinated, then
yeah.
Well, I
You're
would have
not doing
thought that it would
anything
kind of
good.
be a mandatory vaccine now, like we did when we were kids, when we had to go to like fifth
Exactly.
grade, where we had to have all
Like,
these
what was
shots.
that? The Hep C shot?
Well,
There was
there was-
100 of any
And we-
any vaccine
Yeah.
that is available. I
We
have
probably
because
had
my
it.
mother is very pro-vaccine.
Ugh.
Like, if there is something that I could possibly get, I'm not gonna get it because I've been vaccinated. Like,
This is true.
She
they
said,
don't
shoot
have-
her up.
right? Like,
Wait, you guys have a vaccine for what? Okay, I don't give a fuck. Just give
I
it.
swear,
Try it.
I feel like she'd be like,
Malaria.
are there any new vaccines out?
You
don't
might
mind,
be
and you need a test
traveling.
subject.
You know,
Pfizer, Moderna, sneeze.
I feel like it was just like, it was entertaining for her almost because I hated shots.
Oh, I would be crying. I would be over there like in the corner cowering, like.
I am terrified of
awful.
needles.
It was.
Like I am. I have tattoos, but I am terrified of needles.
It's
I'm
funny because the
listening
nurses
now.
come in and you like this and just.
Ow.
I've gotten used to it now. It's just like, yeah,
You're ready.
Oh, yeah.
You're ready.
Now I'm over there like looking at me and the nurse over here like
Right.
this. It's
I'm
pretty
like,
bad.
oh, I felt that one going. The needle wasn't bad, but the medicine.
It's over here burning your
Feel it burning.
Yes, it's not right. I feel like though, honestly, I would probably get the vaccine if we had to travel. So I think at the end.
Yeah, I mean, getting a vaccine to me ain't like.
Yeah, so you
Sure.
would think that the children would have to,
Yeah.
have to get vaccinated just to go back to school. Honestly, and then there's that whole debate on if I would vaccine my child or not,
Yeah.
which is understandable. But it's like, I feel like if it's mandatory for the teachers,
It should be,
mandatory
yeah.
for the whole school. Janitors, principal, subs,
Yep.
the TA that comes in randomly. I don't know. If you walk into school, you got to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
Or like for family members who, because
Yeah.
when we start school back, obviously you're gonna drop your kids off, you're gonna drop their belongings off, your kid left their homework, left their backpack, you're bringing treats or whatever, what
Yeah.
have you, which we probably shouldn't be bringing things from home to school anymore. But
No.
Yeah.
obviously your parent or family or guardian is going to be coming into the school, and if they're not vaccinated, then I mean,
Right.
It's just somebody's gonna get it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because it's
or if
just
you're
so
the
funny.
teacher is mandatory for the teachers, but like the teachers themselves are getting it for their job, but then they're not getting it with their family members aren't getting it, then
Somebody's gonna bring it into that school, which is why I mean,
It's positivity rate is just about to.
it's why it's kind of
Yeah.
like, can we? Would you mind going a whole other year or so, like maybe two? Like, what's your limit with not going back to school just to keep everybody safe?
the biggest issue for me, honestly, I'm not super opposed to the virtual teaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely different, but the hardest thing really is like the social interaction. I work with special
Yes.
needs kids, so for them, that social emotional piece is the largest aspect of their learning, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's hard to build that with them through the computer. and being able to get them, a lot of them do have ADHD and they have reactive attachment disorder, so it's very difficult to get them to focus on their schoolwork because they're not having that human interaction with me and with my instructional assistant. So that's probably like the hardest thing. If it's about safety though, as long as we have to stay out, like whatever that would mean, if that's 3-5 years, because we live in America and they don't really do anything the right way. So there's plenty of other countries that no longer have any reported cases of
Can we
the
move there?
virus.
Like, what's the application
So,
process?
No, they
Right.
they see you and saying they're like, no, thank you.
Oh,
America.
They didn't do right, so no.
We
We're
kind
good
of
off
do
that.
right. Like, shit.
Yeah, we live in a whole country that gave people, not even everybody, but gave people $1,200. Well, now $1,800.
1,800. What you got? So what did you do with your
Oh.
1,800?
But pay bills. Like,
How many bills did your 1,800 pay?
not one. Rent.
Yeah.
Like, but they gave us that in March, and then in just recently. But
It's a little pocket change.
it's been almost a full year, almost 12 whole months. People have been unemployed for 12 months, and their bills have not stopped. Like, you have had to make payments every month.
Y'all not giving
no
us
job.
Y'all not giving us money, but
And they
you're expecting us to give you money.
Yeah.
How?
And that, because that
Make it
is-
make sense.
that
I'm gonna file my taxes.
America works. You know? Well, wait, hey, they pushed back the filing date so you can wait until like February or something. You're good. You got a whole 2 weeks and a half to figure out what to do and how you gonna find that money. Like,
I haven't even got my
you better
W-2
go.
yet.
What do you-
I mean,
What you do? I ain't had a job. Like, what if I had just started my job in March, and then my job stopped because of everything? So then, like, I literally have not had a job.
They're gonna ask you to pay them more money.
They're gonna make you file your
Like-
taxes for unemployment. So
Okay,
anyone
okay.
who received unemployment,
Oh, yeah.
you still have to do your taxes and stuff like that.
That's important for you all to
Yes.
know. You have received unemployment, you still have to file your taxes.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're gonna tax the unemployment
Yes.
money that they
Yes.
get.
Yeah, well, when you
Absolutely.
fill out the unemployment form, it does ask.
Like-
It does ask if you want your taxes taken out before you get your check, so that you don't owe too much back.
So y'all gave me this money just so I can get
Because
back
y'all
to you
knew that
later.
you're having
Yes.
money.
Yep.
So now I gotta get back to you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Pay us for paying you.
You there's a treasury tax. Did you guys not know about this treasury tax? So if you find money on the ground and it adds up to $400 throughout the year, you have to tell the IRS that you made it.
No thanks. No thank you. Nope.
Treasury tax.
For the money that they found on the ground.
Yes. Yeah, and then you just
What?
See, no. I am not telling you when I find money on the ground.
America. That is
What?
that's where we
welcome to
live.
America.
That is
Is that new?
No, this is something you won't learn unless you
One of
take
those
taxes.
laws.
Yeah. But
I mean, how often do you find $400 throughout the whole year on the ground, though?
but the fact that you keep track of it,
Like, what if I?
Have a separate little drawer. Ground money. I haven't checked my ground money in a while.
Let me see how much is that ground bank.
Ooh, I'm at $350. I better go spend some. I know, because I guess even if you spend it,
it's
it's
so
just
much. Yeah, no matter. You don't take expenses out of it and let them know.
That
Like, no.
is
What
You
is-
don't net that.
What happens if you get more than $400?
You literally have to. So you report like you got, say you got $500, something like that. You report I got an additional income of $500. Like there's a additional income. Yes, I find that strange. But the limit, if you get under 400, so it's like $399, you don't have to report.
I feel like that's a great way to like hide some scandalous stuff.
You know.
Like if you have like a business that you can't legally say that that's what you've done,
You just found money on the ground.
like, you know, hey, I'm going to sell you this thing. I'm going to set it on the ground if you want to set $500 on the ground. Look, I just found $500.
I found $500 in the bushes.
But you have to report it.
Yeah.
Right, because you found it.
$399.
Yeah, it's over $400, so
$399.
you're just really good at finding money on the ground. I feel like somebody's probably done that before, and they were like, what is this? you found $4,500 on the ground last year?
Yep. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I definitely would not report money I found.
No!
It doesn't even make sense.
It's a very,
Like, what we get
it's a
from
very
God.
strange tax law that we have that needs to go away. You know.
That's not the strangest laws that we
No,
have.
it's not. We have definitely strayed away from your teaching.
Yes.
So to the beginning of this, because I don't know if many people heard about the beginning of the pandemic when it came to teachers and stuff like that, but can you give us like a little insight of what was going on? Because I know, like back in March, everybody went home, and then everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna go back," and we waited all summer to hear something, and it was like no one decided to even make a plan until July, and school starts like end of August, and
In Kentucky,
in Kentucky.
August.
And so it just kind
In
of made
August
no
is what they
sense.
told us what to do.
And then and it was like, oh,
In 2
we'll go
weeks.
back in 2 weeks or something like that. And then it kind of kept getting pushed back, and it was like nobody knew what was going on. So
Yeah.
like, was that the same for the teachers or?
So in March of 2020, that's when it all started.
Yes, it's
Crazy year.
2021 now.
In March, I remember we were all just sitting. We were actually in the classroom, and our principal had gotten an email or a text message from our assistant principal. Had gotten it from our head principal, and was like, "Hey, this is what's happening. The kids are about to go home early, and we're gonna go ahead and send them with some stuff for 2 weeks." And so, like, we literally had to scramble around to get these packets and all of this stuff together for the kids to be gone for 2 weeks. So it was like, I don't know, it was just like this little race against the clock to try to get everything all packed up and ready to go and send home with them.
Who's got the best packet?
For this week's challenge, you guys
15
have
minutes.
40. Oh, see, I was going to give them 45 minutes.
Okay,
Then,
but
but
have to copy
I mean,
stuff.
Right.
yeah.
To make 12 complete files for 2 weeks worth of homework. Yeah.
2 weeks worth of
You are
lessons.
allowed to use any resources you have around you, but you may not go outside of the building.
Not outside
Go.
of the classroom. Figure out how you're going to copy those.
You can use
can't the
Bluetooth.
printer.
And go. I mean, it was wild. It really was. So we got all the stuff together, and then we got an email saying that we weren't going to go back to school yet, and we needed another plan in order to supplement the learning. So then I work at a very specific state agency school. So we have 9 schools under our umbrella. So the 9 schools basically got together and talked about like all of the things that we made. They're called choice boards. So it was essentially just like a big piece of paper. There was physical copies and virtual copies of just giant piece of paper per grade. And then they would have specific assignments, probably about 30 maybe, on each sheet for K through 12. And these are the type of activities that you can do throughout this week. And so you would just send those different ones each week. And then they were like, all right, well, we don't know when we're going back to school. So we're going to do this thing called NTI, non-traditional instruction, in which you all will be teaching virtually. So we're going to send all of the kids, because in our school district, the kids did not already have one-to-one technology instruction. Yeah. So we had to wait until each student was able to have some type of technology, whether that be a tablet or a Chromebook or a small laptop, and wait till all of the kids got those things. But so you had to create your virtual lesson plans and still your physical lesson plans to be sent off to the kids who still didn't have their laptops. So you were teaching like between each thing of like, you have all this virtual instruction that I have for you, and then you have these physical things. So you're on the phone all day, every day. I talk to parents way more than I ever have in my career. And
Yeah, I bet.
Is that bothersome?
Parents aren't my favorite people. Children are the best. You say it, they do it. The parents are like, I just don't even know.
Miss Fairen, I see on this paper that it says.
And I'm like, yes, it does say that. What? So.
Okay, but instead of doing that, can I?
No. Turn in the word.
And then it got to a point to where I was just like, whatever you're trying to do, as long as you are trying to do it, I will accept it. As long as you are attempting to communicate with me, because the goal was that we had to communicate with the parents at least once a week at the bare minimum, just to check in.
Bare minimum once a week, not like every other week
Nope.
or something.
Once a week. Bare minimum, you just got to communicate once a week.
I feel like that's tough too.
Yeah, because like you
But
got
families have
with,
jobs.
Yeah, you have to schedule with the parent, and like at the time, like, and you can't really take people's lunches because you never know when you can actually have that lunch.
Right.
That's wow.
I mean, it was
like once a week's a little crazy.
It was a bit much.
Yeah.
It was. Then when NTI started it became, as long as the student has either logged in or you've gotten information about the student that day, then you can still count them as being there. So they participated because you have some type of form of communication with them. As a teacher who does work with a very vulnerable population, for me it was very difficult because like a lot of my kids experience a lot of day-to-day trauma being at home.
Yeah.
So I just, knowing that they were going to have to be in those homes for that long amount of time, and for the families who were already stressed, and now they're experiencing more stress because they lost their jobs.
Yes.
So now, not only do they not have that source of income anymore, now they have to be a teacher. So like, they have to teach their kids, or they have to monitor their kids doing their lessons every day, and meeting with their teacher, making sure that their kid is logging on. Because at the end of the day, if the kid does not log on to the computer as a teacher, I can't do anything about that. They just didn't log on.
You're supposed to go over to their house.
But how y'all getting 5-year-olds to log on? Kindergarten teachers and first grade teachers, shout out to y'all, because I don't even know how you taught a 4, 5, 6-year-old how to check their emails. Because that's what these kids are doing.
No, they don't have emails. This is the game was telling me they do not have emails. They just have they just go through Google Docs. Because I was like, why can't you email? I am the one who says, why can't you email your teacher? Because I am still at work. So I'm like, I'm emailing my coworker. Why can't you email your teacher? And he's like, we don't have email. And I'm like, okay, we gotta make a comment. My bad.
Which for us, it comes to us the same way. But so they all have email, but it's just like for a kid, it's way easier to just to write on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's an instant message. It just comes to us.
Slide in the DMs.
Yeah,
Oh, I wonder if the little babies are doing that to each other.
I bet.
Messaging through
Well,
NTI.
I would say from the stories that I heard at the beginning of NTI, some kids were doing some wild shit. So
in our school district, the kids had not seen each other essentially for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Before they were introduced to this virtual instruction, in which they were like, oh dang, I can see my friend who I haven't seen since March.
But there was lots of
and they're like very excited because they're like, I haven't seen, especially if they love their teacher. I haven't seen my teacher, I haven't seen my friends. I'm just really excited. I'm restless. I've been whatever it is that I'm doing, that I have been doing, like at home for months.
They should have orientated these children because go
like,
see your friend type of situation, so you
about,
can just not be so hyped up.
Well, you can't go see your friend because
I know, but it's like, so we're gonna take this day, instead of having the first day and you doing class and stuff like that, like this is your friend's link, click on it, have a conversation. So you can be like, what did you do?
Build that classroom report back up.
Because when you get with like 20 people together on video chat, you're like, hey, what's up? I haven't seen you. Yeah, and the teacher's like, if y'all shut the fuck up, I'm gonna kill somebody. Someone don't have their camera on. Like that shit's funny to hear. Yes.
And then also, I mean,
then you have to learn how to mute.
There was a huge civil unrest, and I don't really like using that term, but kids were learning what it felt like and what it looked like when things were happening in this country, such as murdering people.
Yeah.
And the police murdering people, and the kids were at home with it. So they no longer had those times in which they were at school and all that stuff was being filtered, because for a lot of kids, they don't get to have access to their outside technology during their school day. Like either they can't have their phones out, or they can't have their phones at school. They have to get their phones, so they may not get to see that stuff. So now they're at home, and they're restless from being at home, and then they're on social media, and they're on the internet all day, so they're being faced with all of these things, and they're learning more, and they're seeing more, and they're talking about things more. They're talking about things that aren't their day-to-day. Because they're anxious from being at home, and they're anxious from not being at school. So that's a way bigger anxiety than when you're at school.
Yeah, so you don't have anything to talk about. You don't have
sports.
So
now
you
don't have sports.
You're just watching
the world.
Yep, just the terrors of the world, and then you have to literally go, hey Johnny, like, did you see what they just did in South Carolina? Did you see what they just did down in Florida? Like, the fuck, California.
Did you see what they did in Louisville, Kentucky?
You see what? Yep. You see what they're doing up in Washington D.C. right now?
Like these kids are being forced to ingest these lessons these life lessons that a lot of times as an adult you're like, I don't want that for you.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're starting to see like they have to have that.
Yeah.
Because at this point the world is going to hit them regardless.
Yep. I mean, we literally gave them a different taste of technology than what they would have had in school.
Oh,
Like
for
when we
sure.
were in school and we had computer lab class, like it was we had computer lab
Right.
in elementary, it was elementary.
It was
so
like this and this.
it was super strict. It was super like I don't even think we could even get on the
Couldn't get
internet.
on nothing.
We only had
Yeah.
Excel,
Paint.
and Word.
Freddy
We had the little game. Yes, Freddy Fish. That was the game. Yes.
I'm not even gonna lie. I would play Freddy
I
the Fish right
love
now.
Freddy Fish.
That game was so fun.
I love
Sometimes,
it.
so in
I
the
was
school
on
that we
Paint.
went to, it was all like middle school, elementary school. It was all the same. I'm not gonna lie.
We had
there was-
one computer lab
Yeah.
with 10 computers in there.
There was the one
30
downstairs.
on the wall. Oh,
There was the one.
Oh, I'm talking about
the
the
one
one-
downstairs was the one with Freddy the Fish.
Yes.
There was the upstairs
the
one.
small
one.
Sometimes I would
Upstairs.
sneak down to the little kids' computer lab and
And
play
go
Freddy
Freddy
the
the
Fish.
Fish.
Okay, because
She
I was
would.
always upstairs. I was like, I might never have Freddy, but I
Yeah,
was
the
either
upstairs
in
one
Excel
didn't because they were the
because there was the middle
Middle
school,
school.
the computer lab. Yeah.
Yes.
get on.
Dang.
What was it? Dolls.
Yes, girl, Star Dolls. You know, pick my outfit out.
Oh my
Star
god, I
Dolls, loved
remember
it. That was my
super
jam.
fun.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I actually tried to get on Star Dolls like probably about a month or so ago.
I feel like it's
Still
probably
up?
a porn
It's
site
like-
now.
I don't think it was.
No.
You don't think?
I know.
Oh my god, no! It was it just wasn't like the doll game anymore.
They
It was just something
updated it.
weird.
There were so
but-
many options, like little blingy things.
Oh my god! And they moved. You could dress Christina Aguilera up.
What? Okay.
I don't remember that, but
Dude, but Fairen does. That was her jam.
I played Star Dolls
That was
at
her
home too, and I
jam.
finally got my computer. But I'm thinking about the computer lab. We had that mean lady. I can't remember her name. But it was outside Miss. It was like near Miss Chadwell's classroom, the kindergarten classroom. Like when you
The one that was
Miss Joyce.
Yes, girl.
I don't remember.
She was so mean.
But she's so nice now.
Is she? Because she
Well,
was mean
Maybe
then.
she didn't like little children or something.
She
Or
was
maybe she
mean.
just
Either
got
way,
like-
that's the
She
computer
was
lab that
mean
I
a
was thinking
couple
about. It was
times.
real small.
Yeah, that was the
We
one
didn't.
that
They
I
had
played
we had the
Freddy
colorful
Fish.
computers in there, not the one down the hall by Miss Yancey's, and when Miss Yancey and Mr. Rat
Oh,
was right there. But
I
the other one,
remember these.
yeah,
Yes.
This was down like
you had
by
the colorful computers. And there was like 10 of them in there.
That's true. I know.
The
I
one
think
down by the where you would come in the front door or the back door, like where you got dropped off in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was Miss Joyce's.
So.
Because I'm sitting there like, damn, we had 3 computer labs, and honestly, I only remember the one. But now, if you think about
Yeah,
it,
we did. But like they weren't big at all.
But
the,
I mean,
the one with Freddy the Fish had like maybe 5 computers in there. They was like
but talking
next
to
to each other like this.
talking
You
to
standing like this.
talking
me
to
an S.
other people though.
But you were small, so it's like
Talking to
That's
other
true.
people, they didn't have computer labs in elementary or middle school,
Oh,
so we were kind of like hella blessed with
Shit, I thought we was
looking at our
It was
computers.
fun, 'cause
they were,
our textbooks was trash.
yes,
Yeah,
And we
had
shared
better
them.
computers.
and you
We
hope
shared
you would
raggedy
hope that you
textbooks.
would get
And you
like
had
a
to
cool
pay for
person.
Yep.
That would be randomly
Oh,
handed
look,
out.
Oh, because they had their name in them.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I got parents.
And then like you would look for notes that they would leave because you would leave notes in your textbook.
Because you knew, because we passed our textbooks down year after
Yes.
year after year after year.
until they couldn't be
We
taped
had,
together
we had the
anymore.
true history of some stuff because they hadn't really whitewashed it yet. So like
Right.
we knew what was kind of going on, but we still had questions because they definitely whitewashed slavery
Man,
for us. And
That won't
bullshit.
happen anymore.
So.
Oh
I
yeah,
would love
the
to
how,
have fun.
and that's another thing too. Like the way our curriculum in our district has changed. Our curriculum now has Black History included within our school curriculum, as opposed to prior to
Just doing it
the
on
only thing they
February.
thought of. Well, and that was like a teacher's choice.
Yeah,
so.
which is very fucked up because one, I didn't understand how we were fucking talking about like, I don't even know. It just never. Yes, February hit and cool, it's a good time to do it, but it never like infused into what we were learning. It's like stop what you're doing. Let's learn about Black people.
And I don't even
for
really-
for 28 days.
I don't
Yeah.
even really feel like it was that big of a deal in high school. It was like, oh, we got to do it because it's Black History Month.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was the exact same people. It was like same 5 people over and over.
Yeah, and it was the same thing every year.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
And then they would be like, well, why can't you write about somebody else? And then granted, we really didn't have the internet used back then too. personally at home. So it was kind of like, I can't look up these people. I don't even know who the fuck to look up because you've only given me 5 names.
People. Yeah. I can tell you them 5 names every single year.
Yes.
Because like you said, I learned the same thing about them people every single year.
5 every time, yeah. So it was just, that's just wild.
And that's like, history is being rewritten essentially.
Yeah.
And uncovered.
I was going to say, it's more like edited to show the truth. Because it's not, rewritten, yeah, but it's like, this is what it was supposed to be. Like,
we're not even edited. It's just someone said, hey, I was there too, and this is what happened.
This is what actually occurred.
Taking the eraser and
just tell someone
where you
else's
marked it out.
story. Yeah, or just, because, only the conqueror will tell their story, and everybody else doesn't get to
the
know
victor
what happened.
Tells the tale.
Yes.
That which is another good thing about all of what has happened is that schools are now being forced to understand that you can't just teach these one things to these group of kids this one time. So a lot of like private schools have very advanced educations because they have a lot more money to do so, and they have a lot more access to resources. But now these public schools are getting to see that like, oh, all kids need this type of access. Yeah. All kids need these resources. So what do we have to do in order to get these resources to them? Well,
Stop putting money in one place and give it to the teachers for resources. Because why make them buy their own stuff and give them a trash paycheck? I don't know.
It's almost like you could defund one thing
to fund another thing. Like funding education.
Yeah. Because where would we be without educators?
Yeah, well,
you kind of.
Some of you wouldn't be able to read.
Some of y'all can't read.
So we need to make sure that is fixed by funding that.
Education is very important.
Education is
so important.
It's super important, and I'm glad that you were able to go with the change, because this is a very quick, super fast change. And I know a lot of people, especially in where I work, just in the finance field, change happens and people panic. And most of these teachers, change happened, some of them panicked, but most of them rise to the occasion. We're like, we can't stop, and that's great. And I love that we got to see your side of the story, because I just get to watch the children's side of the story, and it's hilarious. And sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Why are we doing it this way?
One thing is hard for me is I never, because my philosophy is to not give busy work. It doesn't, homework, busy work, none of those things. They don't help advance a child's learning. Just literally just giving them stuff. I mean, if you're an adult and you're at work and you see your boss just like, hey, I got this 17-page document for you to edit, but it's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything with it. I mean, you would feel like that'll be a waste of your time. So kids feel the same way. They don't want their time wasted. So one thing that's really hard is trying to find something that's not wasting their time, and that they feel like they're getting something out of it because they're already not in the classroom. So they already don't have me as that figure who keeps them on track.
Keeps them motivated.
You're trying to keep a child motivated to do something that they probably really don't really want to do.
Right there, so they want to watch.
They're at home. There's so many other distractions. I mean, they might be raising their siblings. There's just so much that they already have to do at home, and then come to school, and now they're at home doing it still and being in school.
Break,
I mean, I can't imagine when I was 9 years old, and the teacher being like, "You have to do." I'm gonna hang up on you.
I'm already a procrastinator, son. I'm definitely not
in call. What are you gonna do? Tell my mom that I'm in the call? Okay, well, guess what?
You're right there. Okay, and then 0.5 seconds.
But
why did you hang up on? Because I didn't like what she was talking about.
Because she can't talk about that in my own house.
Right. She'd be like, you know what? Click
in my own house.
Call the teacher. Miss Yancey.
Look, did you do your homework? No. Okay, well, I'm gonna
My mom
is at work. She's not like she can leave work and come get me right now while I'm at home.
I already don't have my phone, so
I mean,
you can't have the remote
to do my work. I got threatened in private school, in high school, so I definitely know that at 9 years old, I would have somehow been transferred to a different school. Even though it was virtual, that would have been my threat. So I would have had to gotten my work done. But I'd rather get my shit done Monday and only on Monday. So then I have like a 6-day day off. And
No,
Yeah, I mean, for the
because these little kids are not going to know how to go back to school.
like, what's the least amount of work I can do to do today?
Like if the teacher gave the assignments for like the week on Monday and they're like, these aren't due till Friday.
No, they're not due until Sunday.
Or whatever day that
They get
they're
a whole
due.
7 days
Like,
to get this shit done.
I mean, you might want to do, if you're,
Do
some
when
kids
you
like
wanna
to
do
do it
it.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were in school, if you gave a kid, if you gave a kid 10 problems to do and you were like, pace yourself on these 10 problems, well, some kids might just go ahead and do 10 problems in 20 minutes and boom, they're done.
Yep. Listen, when we had free time in class, I was over trying to get my homework done because I was not taking
I did
my
not want
homework
to have to do it at home.
No,
Yep.
I didn't want to take
That is
those
one
big
thing I
ass
did
books.
try.
Yeah.
Because I got too much stuff at home
You
that I
didn't,
want
but
to
you didn't ever
do.
turn it in.
No, I didn't. I would lose it. I would leave it there and then something would happen to
You
it.
put it in your locker. Organize your locker.
It's so crazy, like, when you would tell me
put stuff
that.
up in my locker.
I have kids who do, like, you telling me that and me now having, like, students who do that, I'm like, I'll tell them too, I'm like, listen, my best friend was very similar to that. She would do her work and not turn it in. Well, guess what? You're not going to get anything from that. So just bring it in.
I did it.
But even if you didn't do it, bring it back. And then we can do it together. Just
Oh,
bring
that
it
was
in.
another. Yeah, no. If I didn't do it, it was like, oh, I want them to know that I didn't do it, so I'm just not gonna take it.
Oh my god.
Like crack
Don't.
what?
Children, if you're watching this, don't do that.
Don't do it.
Turn your shit in. If
Well, just turn it
anything,
in.
finish it all on Monday, and then you've got Tuesday to Friday to do what the fuck you want. You can do a hobby, a project,
And your
start a
teacher's gonna be
business.
mad at you either way. So
Yeah, I
like,
know, no
think about
matter
that,
what.
like, just take it in. Just be
You-
like, now here it is,
somebody's gonna be mad at
like
you.
AF.
One thing I definitely do want to be able to teach my students when we go, I mean, I've done it before, but what I want to have embedded in my curriculum is building business plans and what that looks like.
Yes.
And how, for teachers, the way that you can embed that in all parts of your curriculum. You can do that with ELA, so they're writing out a plan, they're doing their pre-write, all of that. You can do the math aspect of it because they have to do the economics and the budgeting part of their business plan. For science, it depends on what type, if they're creating an invention or whatever their business plan, their business model is. And then social studies, they can give a history report of maybe inventions like that or whatever that might look like.
Business that has ran successfully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's very similar to that, or any type of business model that in
Yeah.
general, like maybe
What-
they wanted to do a study on
What
Google,
changed history? Like what changed the history of business?
especially now in technology, and maybe looking at technology programs like Google and like Microsoft Word and
Anything with
what's the other
electronics, Tesla.
is it Microsoft Windows. Windows.
I was saying anything with
Not
electronics,
gonna lie, I
anything that
spaced
has
out a little
changed.
bit on that. Heard Tesla, and I was like,
anything
anything
that has changed the game, basically.
Yeah. Of how we
Of how
operate.
you run a business. I mean, shit. Some people, their business is doing so well that they tried to run America like that. It's obviously not working. Because it's the worst ran business I've ever seen. But with that note, I would like to say thank you to Fairen. She did a great job. First podcast, first host, first guest, first all that. You know, first. So thank you, Fairen, for being here. Thank you for giving us your insight. And
do you want to let people know where to follow you?
No.
Okay.
that's fine. This is your pandemic survival guide. We will have more episodes out. My name is Megan. You can follow me at my Instagram is Megan_Dion_. That's the only one I can remember right now. I think I have a Twitter.
She does.
I do. It's the same thing. Megan_Dion_.
You
It's-
changed it.
It is. It's maybe it's me, and the me is a 3. The E is. That's what it is. I also have another
I definitely
Twitter,
don't
and it's
remember.
called Light Skin Meg. Check that one out if you want to. And Marybeth.
Yeah, all of mine are some variation of Merbs 2010. There might be an underscore. in there. Subscore. No, it's always it might be Merbs 19. I don't remember, but it's some variation of those.
Hopefully, in the near future, we'll have at least a Twitter page for this account. But you can definitely find these videos on Twitch and YouTube, and you can find the audio wherever we can put it, honestly. So wherever you found it, let us know. Hit us up. If you have any comments or anything, subscribe, like us. I don't know what else you can do.
Like, subscribe, and comment.
You know.
Yes.
Share with some people. Do
Share.
all that fun stuff. You know. If you had a great time, you enjoyed us. And we always take reviews.
Yeah.
Always.
Tell us what to do. We'll probably do it. Maybe not.
Depends.
Yeah.
Bye.